a painting day in my studio, and I might see if I can zoom you in just a little bit. Let's see. Get my glasses on. Okay. All right. For anybody who watches this later, I hope someone comes and chats with me. Um, there was a time where I took different types of canvases and played with paint to see. I was trying to make all sorts of waves. So me being lost at sea, going through my art therapy, um, my own personal art therapy. I have a psychology degree and an art minor. I found myself painting. Put my face in here. Hi. I found myself painting because it was the only time that my brain was quiet and stopped thinking about all the days that we were just floating out at sea. The Coast Guard, I didn't know this, but the Coast Guard had already called our family and told them that we passed. So, this is just a chalkboard. Hi, I see somebody joined. Hello. Hi. I was just saying that I have a lot of canvases that have um, me coming up with different ways to make waves. And I was thinking that this one needed a mermaid, so I just have a little chalkboard, and I'm gonna see if I can put her in there. So I have an art studio full of seascapes, big waves, big boats, mermaids. But I haven't done a mermaid in a while, so I was just gonna see how it goes. It's just kind of the way it works here. I'm gonna try doing a sketch first, and I'm not, because of the type of paint I used, I'm not sure which. Just, there's a lot of trial and error, and it will come out cool. So I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna do her tail coming out of the water. You probably can't see that. I can barely see it. I'm going to get black here in a second. So if this is the first time that you guys have joined me, hello, I see more people. Hi guys. If this is the first time that you've joined me, I have a firm belief that painting should be easy, no stress, and you can always erase or paint over things that, to paint over things that you don't like. So this was, I pulled this out. This was a time when I had just been lost at sea. I was going through art therapy, my own personal assigned art therapy, but I have an art studio full of seascapes with different kinds of waves, and so this was just like a mixture of different kinds of paints, but it's not finished, and I thought what might make it finished is to add a mermaid. So that's just a chalkboard, and I just sketched that earlier, and that's when I decided to see how she comes out. I like this one. I think y'all might be able to see this better. Maybe if I butter a little bit. So, do you guys want to hear a funny story? No, I don't primarily use colored pencils. Well, I do really like, if you've ever seen these, see how they have this like brown tip right here? These are watercolor pencils. These are really cool. Let me show you how that works. Just put it in water. Can you see that little green spot? They're really cool because they're not so specific, and then you can kind of, if you liked finger painting as a kid, you might like these. I always struggled a lot with oil painting and even watercolors because the brush made it feel like it made me feel confined. So, and this is basically a Sharpie. Let's see, I just painted it green and then I just put it back white. No big deal. I really like the idea of anyone that's not done art to just remember that the whole point of it is it's like life, like it's the journey, right? You just need to figure out how to have fun. Don't stress. I have I have about 300 paintings in my art studio, and I bet you I've painted over at least half of them. Just there's this stuff called gesso, and it starts with a G, and it's really thick white paint, and it'll paint over just about anything. And this right here, this is a charcoal pencil, and it's really messy. So excuse me for a second. Sorry. I'm gonna end up getting black all over me, which is also fine. So I was going to use just a black Sharpie to do the mermaid, but look at that. The way that I was thinking about going with her, can y'all see that line? It already looks like it's lining up where it wants to be. Oh, do y'all want to hear a funny story? I totally forgot about it. I got all into what I was doing. Are you guys chatting? I can't see it. Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Are you there? Okay, so, I live in Texas. I live about 3 hours from the Gulf of Mexico. And a friend of mine really likes to go fishing, and I've gone fishing before lots of times. I caught 39-inch redfish once, which was very heavy, and it took me 2 hours to get him out of the water because none of the guys would help me. They thought I needed to do that on my own to feel successful or whatever. But here's a story of that person who loved to go fishing. He said years before that they pulled in a baby shark, and they had this way. Him and his buddy, his best friend, were the ones that they usually went out together. And so when they would catch something that they were going to eat, um, they didn't really just like kill it right away when they would pull it out of the water, you know. And if this is disturbing to somebody, I promise you it's not gross. It's funny. So, uh, anyways, so they pulled this in. They were really surprised that it was like a baby shark, and they thought about letting it go. And they said they went ahead and decided to keep it, and they whacked it on the head, you know, just to knock it out so that it didn't bite them, because it was a pretty small bay boat. They weren't in a proper boat to be out in the ocean big enough, you know. And he said he was, at one point, they had another fish, they call it fish on, when, you know, they have um, a fishing pole that's like hanging out. They may have like 3 or 4 that are just on holders. And so they had a fish on, and he ran back to go grab it so he could pull another fish in. And that shark, he wasn't knocked out. He reached right up and bit him right on, like, in between the leg and the butt. And he ended up with a hole in his shorts. But he didn't actually bite him. So, I think I lost my people. Hi, I see someone joined. Can you see? Do I need to change the view? I think I'm doing this onto this. Let me see if I have something I can put up. Oh, but that's loud. I'm so sorry. No, that hurt. So I just told a story about a baby shark biting someone's pants. Let's see if I can think of another one. Right now, this is a charcoal pencil. I usually make my own black paint. Where I live, my little slice of Texas, I have a couple of burn piles that I use because I have to. And whenever they're done, I'll take the black coals and use a a mortar and pestle, but I have yet to become smart enough to figure out how to make my own charcoal pencil. So I have a lot of them where I have more, like the mermaid is actually very detailed in color and face, but there's so much going on in this one that, hi, I see someone in there, hello. I felt like this painting already had so much going on with the color and the waves and the texture. I was thinking that she might look cooler if she, like if you were looking down into the water and you just saw like a shadow. So whenever you use charcoal like this, it's can you, yeah, you can see that. They have different kinds of sprays. Like if you decided to use charcoal and just even on just any kind of paper, and you made some art that you didn't want it to get messed up, they have these sprays that you can, it looks like hairspray that you can spray. It's a finishing spray, but one thing I did learn in college, so I got a minor in art, and I have to admit, I did not spend a whole lot of time in painting. I spent most of my time in ceramics, making pottery. But one thing I did learn was that Aquanet, which is a hairspray that's been around, I don't know, since the 80s, works just as well as those finishing sprays. I think I have one I can show you, but it's going to be really necessary if you use, they have a white charcoal pencil, and then there's also black, or if you even just use regular chalk, just by spraying it with, you know, something like, y'all, I don't know about regular hairspray. I've only ever bought Aquanet. It's like $3 here where we live. I don't know. I feel like she's just about done. I don't want to do like, I don't know. I want some waves or something, but this looks like a moon to me. Okay, let me go get the spray, and I just want to show you. I haven't decided. Are you guys talking? I see one person today. Do you have any suggestions? I can't see anything in the chat, so if you do, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can add some blue. So this is a watercolor pencil. You can usually tell because they have a different colored top than regular, um, like regular pencils. Will have gray or white or just or nothing like this one. But I've never seen any watercolor pencils that weren't like a bronze color. I just wanted to see if I wanted to add any blue here. I don't know, do y'all know how like the sea is like darker as you go down further? I was kind of thinking this might need to be darker. Probably get some paint. So, you guys want to hear a story? I'll tell you a story. My now ex-husband, um, I'm still sad that didn't work out. He had a house on an island that was about, and don't be thinking it's all fancy. He and his friend built it by taking recycled lumber from their jobs. One was a tree trimmer, and the other one was a painter, like a, like apartment painter. You know what I mean? Anyways, anytime they would have leftover anything that could be used to build a house, we would go over to the island, and it was from where we live. It's a 3-hour drive, and then a 10-minute boat ride, and everything is. You have to have a generator. There's no water. There's no electricity. So, and I know there's people that live like that in this world. And I totally get how hard that is. Um, but it's one of the reasons why I miss him so much. I miss the island. Um, anyways, so we went to the island this one weekend that we were supposed to be having a full moon. Not a full moon, a super moon. And the super moon out there is where the house was. You could see the bay from one side, and then you could see the beach, the ocean from the other side. And it was so cool because as soon as it got dark, man, that super moon, I've never seen anything so big ever in my whole life. And we decided to sleep on the roof, which I don't know what I was thinking, but it was safe. They made it very sturdy, the house, and it got really windy in the middle of the night, and I woke up, and I woke up and I thought I was having a dream. I thought I was being interrogated, and that there was like a light bulb, the kind in some movies where they just pull the string. I thought there was a light bulb in my face. And when I finally came out of my dream state, I realized I was on the roof of our island house, and that was the moon, and it was so beautiful. It's one of my top 5 pretty things I've ever seen. It was really nice. Um, I don't know why I wasn't ever afraid that I'd fall off. Another thing I saw while I was out there is bioluminescence. It's like this algae stuff that um, looks fluorescent green. You can totally see. There's tons of videos on YouTube about it. So like on certain, I guess it's just certain times. I don't know if it's times of the year or if it's how the weather is. Um, but the waves will come in, like, and it's at night. And the waves will come in, and then right, like as the waves like crashing towards you, underneath them will be this line of like neon green, and I think it's blue some places, like Australia maybe, but this is off the coast of Texas, so that was rad. And I've been messing around with glow in the dark paints for a while, trying to replicate that. I know I could do AI, but I don't want to. So right now I'm just doing a watercolor pencil to make the deeper part, because to me, this looks like the moon. She's in the water. This is the deeper part. So I'm just thinking that this just needs to be a little bit darker. I'm afraid if I get paint out, it'll take away from the texture, maybe. I don't know, I may just get the paint out. I like the watercolor pencils because you can manipulate them. I think this needs to be blue. So if you are listening from beginning to end, I was talking about um, my ex-husband built what's called a fishing cabin on a pretty much remote island that not many people know about. That's about 3 hours from where we live, on the coast of Texas in the Gulf of Mexico. And it was one of the, well, it's like the main reason why I missed being married to him. There wasn't enough um, but I learned how to fish. I got lost at sea. The Coast Guard said we were dead. All sorts of dramatic things happened. Honey, when we weren't married anymore, my life calmed down. Um, but I did learn how to fish, and I liked that a lot. They taught me how to get fresh shrimp and put the hook through, and then catch something small, a sea trout or something, and then cut the head off, and then use that to catch something bigger. And I was quite good. The last time that we went out there, I caught a 39-inch redfish, and then we ate it that night. Tacos. It was good. After I got lost at sea, I didn't want to be, I'm a Pisces. I did not want to be afraid of the water. So I made him and his best friend are the ones who built that house out on the island. And I made them make a whole bunch of promises to me, but I made them take me back out. So after I got lost at sea, Coast Guard said that I didn't know this, but they had called our families and said, and my husband wasn't with me. I was with his two best friends. They had called our families and said, because there were hurricane winds, were like 14-foot waves, and we were in a little bay boat. And they said, if they are where we think they are, there's no way that they have survived, and they had to stop looking for us because they said it wasn't safe for anybody to be out. And we lived. We ended up on a completely desert island, like a deserted island that, let's mess that up. We were 51 miles away from where we were supposed to be, and we didn't have a motor the whole time. That was just full loading. It's crazy. But so we drove 3 hours home, and I went to work the very next day. I had like this weird thing where I was like nervous about the shower. I don't know what my problem was with water, but I had been wet for days. And then my PTSD didn't really kick in until a few years later, which was with a psychology degree. I guess maybe some people will understand this. I don't know. When you are really good at something or you know a lot about something, you don't really think that certain things can happen to you. So, like me thinking I needed to go see a psychiatrist because I was dreaming that sharks were swimming around my bed every night. I mean, the thought never even occurred to me to go to a psychiatrist. It eventually did. And I still see them. My psychologist and my doctor. Okay, I think I'm about done. I was gonna say how much I really liked fishing. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I was talking about fishing, and then I was gonna say when my PTSD was like, I mean, I had painted so many boats, and I was trying to recreate what I'd been through, and mermaids and anchors and all sorts of things. And I wasn't even thinking, on purpose. But I was trying to think of how to heal my brain from what we had been through. I even tattooed a humongous mermaid sitting on, she's sitting on an anchor on my back. Oh my god, that hurts so bad. That thing took 3 hours. And you know what? My PTSD still didn't go away. And you know what my doctor said? He's been my doctor almost 30 years because I'm old, I'm 53. He said, Heather, you're probably going to have PTSD forever. You just got to keep learning the tools. I don't know. My kids are in their 20s. They said that my tattoo was cool, so at least it's not gross. I don't really like that gray. I see one person still on. Hi, can you see? I'm feeling like it's just about done. I can make her darker, but I kind of like the lines. So I'm going to spray. If you missed it, anytime you use charcoal, this is what we used. Can't see it. Can't see it. So sorry. It's a charcoal pencil. Anytime you use charcoal pencil, there's black, there's white, and you really have to spray afterwards. Like this one I did a long time ago. This is unicorn. That's with white charcoal, and it had to be obviously sprayed. But I can even see my finger. Nothing comes off. Otherwise, I mean, anything can happen. I'm gonna have to reach over here. Oh no. Oh my gosh. So here's one. People use this for like furniture and stuff too. It's a clear glaze. This one's low odor. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Hi. I'll see. Is this even Aquanet? Aquanet's purple. I don't think that's Aquanet. And then you just barely spray it from like 12 inches. You really not want to spray that. Almost out. Okay, it still needs more, but I don't have any more, so I'm gonna have to go get some. But she's good for now. Let me see. Can you see? Thank you for joining me. I hope to do this more often, because I'm in my shop every day anyways. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and let us go, okay? Have a good day.